Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week at everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock. With news, markets are disappointed they aren't going to be fed more monetary juice anytime soon. But first in the US, inflation expectations are starting to rise. A Fed survey out overnight shows consumers are now expecting higher prices, and this comes after 3 straight months where they weren't. It's a political issue in the US, raising the minimum wage. It is now just $7.25 an hour. One political party wants it raised to $15 an hour. Now, an independent study has shown that to do so will cost 1.3 million people their jobs, but raise incomes for 17 million people. US consumer credit rose a healthy 5% in May. Fixed loans rose only 3.9%, but revolving credit arrangements rose a remarkable 8.2% on a year-on-year basis. There seems to be plenty of debt appetite by American consumers still. On Wall Street, equities are falling as investors backed away from hopes that the Federal Reserve would aggressively cut interest rates to boost the economy. The data suggests it doesn't need an emergency boost. The S&P 500 is down 0.6% so far today. That follows European markets that were down only 0.2%, and that's despite the Deutsche Bank cull of 18,000 investment bankers. But none of these declines have been anything like the drops in Shanghai yesterday. This key market was down an eye-popping 2.6% on fears that range from trade war impacts on firms, uncertainty on what Beijing will do next, and a general lowering of profit prospects. Hong Kong was infected as well, down 1.5% on the day. Tokyo is down 1%, as was the ASX 200, which was down 1.2%. In China, their foreign exchange assets rose in June, either casting doubt on the actual pressure these reserves are under or indicating how effective their cross-border controls have become. And China may be starting to get serious about protecting intellectual property. The shift isn't from official sources, but from the business community itself. Suddenly, registering trademarks has become important, and defending them a normal part of business. This is a ground-up change. In Germany, a closely watched investor sentiment has come in much weaker than expected, and the expectations weren't high in the first place. In Australia, ratings agency S&P wants to see continuing surpluses well into the future, and it says that they are the basis of keeping Australia's AAA credit rating. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now at 2.04%. Gold was little changed overnight, down just $2 to $1,396 an ounce. US oil prices a little changed again as well. They're now just on $57.50 a barrel, while the Brent benchmark is at $64.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar is holding at 66.3 US cents. On the cross rates were marginally firmer at 95.1 Aussie cents, and against the euro was similar at 59.1 euro cents. That leaves the trade-weighted index little changed at 71.2. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.